Hey guys, welcome to Mr. Cohane's online lessons. This time we are going to break down our homework a little bit. So at this point, you should have your homework in front of you. You should have tried out the problems, and now we're going to go over the problems so we can see how you did and maybe answer any questions you had. So let's get started with number 14. Nana spent $28 on 2 DVDs. How much would 5 DVDs cost? And at what rate did she spend her money? Okay, so let's set it up word over word. So we're going to do dollars over DVDs. Perfect. So let's see what we're given. We're given $28 for 2 DVDs. And then, but it wants to know how much would 5 DVDs cost. So that's what we're trying to figure out right up there. Now first I look, I don't see an easy way to get from 2 to 5. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to build that rock in the middle, and I'm going to scale down a little bit. So if I know 2 DVDs cost $28, well, how much does 1 DVD cost? Well, in order to figure that out, we go from 2 to 1, divide by 2, and then 28 divide by 2, and I know 28 divided by 2 is 14. Okay, so we have 14 for 1 DVD. But now we want to know how to get to 5 DVDs. So 1 to 5 is, of course, times 5. So what do I have to do up top? Times 5. And off to the side, I'll do 14 times 5. And that is 5 times 4 is 20. 2. 5 times 1 is 5. 6, 7. So I see $70 is the answer. So it says at this rate, how much would 5 DVDs cost? 5 DVDs cost $70. And then it says, at what rate did she spend her money? When it says at what rate, that just wants to know how many for 1. So it says at what rate? 1 DVD for, and we said it was $14. Perfect. So there goes our number 14. Double check your work, make sure it matches mine. Okay, let's move on to number 15. And let me erase my work here. Okay, number 15 says, if 15 baseballs weigh 75 ounces, how many baseballs would weigh 15 ounces? So, let's take a look. We'll do baseballs over ounces. And 15 baseball weighs 75 ounces, so 15 over 75. How many baseballs weigh 15 ounces? Ounces, we don't know. We have to figure out what that is. So, 75 to 15. I know we're going down, so I'm going to try a little bit of division. I don't know exactly how many times 15 could go into 75, so we're just going to sort of have to guess and check. I'm going to guess about 5. So I'm going to do my work. 75 on the inside, 15 on the outside. 15 goes into 75. I guessed 5. 5 times 15, don't know. Off to the side, I'll do 5 times 15. 5 carry the 2. Boom, we got it. 75 subtracted, we are at 0. Perfect. So, the answer to this one is, we're going to have to divide by 5. Oops. And then up here, we're going to divide by 5. And 15 divided by 5 is 3. So it says, if 15 baseballs weigh 75 ounces, how many baseballs weigh 15 ounces? The answer is 3 baseballs. Perfect. Let's move on to the next one. Now this next one uses some rather large numbers, but it's going to be done the exact same way. Make a prediction. Suppose 8 out of every 20 students are absent from school less than 5 days a year. Predict how many students would be absent from school less than 5 days a year out of 40,000 students. Okay, so big number, but again, just set it up the same way. So here we have 8 out of 20. So I'll do students over total. And I have 8 out of 20, so 8 students out of a total of 20. And it wants to know, what if it was over 40,000? Wow, big number. Okay, so I look and I say, how do I get from 20 to 40,000? They're both even numbers, and I know I see 4 and 2 with a bunch of zeros, so I know that 20 is going to be able to go into that. But now it's just a matter of how many times. So let's do some division. 40,000 divided by 20. 20 goes into 42 times. 2 times 20 is 40. Subtract, we are at 0. And then we're going to drop it, that's a 0, 0. And I know those are just going to be zeros. So we are at 2,000, okay? So how do I get from 20 to 40,000? We're going to do times 2,000. So what do you have to do to the top? Times 2,000. So let's do it. 2,000 times 8, 0, 0, 0, 16, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, perfect. We are at 16,000. So, I'm going to erase my work just so I can write on the line. So the answer is, predict how many students would be at school less than 5 days a year out of 40,000 students. 16,000 would be absent. Perfect. Perfect. Let's move on to the last question. Okay. For a store contest, 4 out of every 65 people who visit the store will receive a free DVD. If 455 people visit the store, how many DVDs were given away? So let's set it up. So we'll say people over 4 out of 65 people receive a DVD. So I'll say DVD over people. DVD over people. 4 get a DVD out of 65, right? If 455 people visit the store, how many DVDs were given away? So if we go 455, so now I have to see how many times does 65 go into 455. Not a number I know off the top of my head, so we're just going to have to guess and check. I know it's going to be multiplication. We're looking for that 455 mark. So 455 divided by 65. Well, I know it's not going to be 10. I'm just going to try to, because otherwise, if it was 10, it would be 650. So I'm just going to have to guess and check here, and I'll guess an 8. Why not? 65 times 8. 8 times 5 is 40. 0, carry the 4. 8 times 6, 48. 49, 50, 51, 52. Too high. Too high. 65 times 7. And 7 times 5 is 35. Carry the 3. 7 times 6, 42, 43, 44, 45. Ooh, look at that. 455, it's times 7. 455, subtract, we're at 0. Perfect, so now we know it's going to be times 7. And now to the top, we do times 7. 4 times 7 is 28. So therefore, how many DVDs? The answer is 28 DVDs. Perfect. Okay. Good luck, and make sure you check over your stuff. We'll see you in class tomorrow.